She was only 6 when she asked, "Daddy, why didn't Mommy ever come back?" For years, he had rehearsed 1,000 lies, but this time, he told her the truth. What followed wasn't just a confession, it was a journey through heartbreak, love, sacrifice, and forgiveness. And by the end, even the daughter didn't see it coming. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, share with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe our channel Kindness Talks for more real-life inspired emotional stories. It was a rainy Sunday morning when little Eliza padded barefoot into the living room, clutching her favorite stuffed rabbit and dragging her blanket behind her. Her father, Daniel, sat by the window with a mug of coffee gone cold, his gaze lost in the gray mist outside. He looked tired, as always, too tired for a man only in his 30s. His eyes held years of silence, of buried pain. Eliza climbed onto the couch beside him, leaned into his arm, and said in the softest voice, "Daddy, why didn't Mommy ever come back?" The question didn't surprise him. She'd asked before. But this time, her tone wasn't whiny or confused. It was quiet. Heavy. Like she was old enough to know this wasn't a fairy tale. Daniel's hands trembled slightly. He opened his mouth, but no words came. He'd always said the same thing, she had to go far away, or Mommy's busy, sweetie. But now? The excuses wouldn't land anymore. Eliza's eyes searched his face for something real. The truth. He tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "Maybe it's time," he whispered more to himself than her. "Come with me." She followed him silently up the stairs. Daniel opened a closet door he hadn't touched in years. Inside was an old brown box, taped shut. With careful hands, he pulled it out and brought it to the floor. Eliza sat cross-legged beside him as he opened it. Inside were letters. Photos. A small red music box. And a faded hospital bracelet. "Your mommy's name was Clara," Daniel began, his voice cracking. "And she loved you more than anything." He picked up a photo. Clara, with a wild, beautiful smile, holding newborn Eliza wrapped in a pink blanket. The room in the picture looked like a hospital nursery. "She never wanted to leave you." "But she did," Eliza whispered. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "Yes. But not the way you think." And so, the truth began to spill, slowly, like water leaking through cracks. Clara and Daniel had been childhood sweethearts. She was the brave one. The dreamer. He was the careful planner. Together, they balanced each other. They got married young and had Eliza 2 years later. Life was tough. Money was tight. But love kept them going. Until Clara got sick. It started with fatigue. Then bruises that wouldn't heal. Then fevers. The diagnosis came on Eliza's first birthday, acute myeloid leukemia. Daniel's world crashed. Clara didn't cry. She smiled and said, "At least I had one perfect year with her." What followed was a blur of hospital visits, chemotherapy, hope, and heartache. Clara fought hard. She made Daniel promise not to let Eliza see her when she got really weak. "She shouldn't remember me like that," she said. "She should remember my laughter, my songs, my bedtime stories." When the time came, Clara asked Daniel for one final wish: "Don't tell her I died." "Not yet. Let her think I had to go away. Give her time. She deserves a happy childhood." Daniel did as she asked. But now, years later, staring into Eliza's eyes, so much like Clara's. He knew he had to give her more than a happy illusion. He had to give her the truth. Eliza didn't cry. She sat still for a long time. Then she picked up the music box and wound it. The soft tune of "You Are My Sunshine" filled the room. "She sang this to me," Eliza said suddenly. "I remember it, from when I was little." Daniel nodded, tears flowing freely. "She sang it every night. And in that quiet attic, father and daughter clung to each other, two broken halves trying to become whole again." But the story wasn't over. Because Eliza, at only 6, had one more question. Did she leave me anything? And Daniel, stunned, remembered something he hadn't dared open in years: Clara's final letter. Daniel sat with Eliza by the fireplace as the storm outside deepened. The house creaked, wind whistled, but inside, a quiet warmth had returned. Eliza held the sealed envelope with her name on it, Eliza Rose Harper, written in the elegant handwriting of a mother who had never watched her daughter grow up. "Do you want me to read it to you?" Daniel asked gently. Eliza nodded. Daniel opened the letter, his fingers trembling. As he unfolded the pages, he took a deep breath and began to read aloud. "My dearest Eliza, if you're reading this, it means you're old enough to wonder where I went. And I need you to know, it wasn't because I didn't love you. I left because I loved you too much. There are moments in life when we don't get to choose what happens to us, but we always get to choose how we love, how we remember, and how we forgive. I watched your first smile. I held your hand as you slept. I counted your tiny fingers and whispered dreams into your ears. Every day I lived. I lived for you. I wish I could have stayed. I wish I could see you dance, cry, fall, and rise again. But even if you can't see me, I'm there. Every step. Be kind. Be strong. Love your daddy like I did, he has the biggest heart. And whenever you feel lost, close your eyes. I'll be the whisper in the wind, the hug in your dreams, and the light in your heart. You are, and always will be, my sunshine. With all my love. Mommy." By the time Daniel finished, he was sobbing. Eliza was too. But they weren't just tears of grief. They were tears of healing. Eliza crawled into his lap and held him tight. "She didn't leave me," she said. "She loved me so much she tried to protect me from goodbye." Daniel nodded, resting his cheek on her head. "And now, she's part of you forever." In the weeks that followed, something shifted in their home. Daniel no longer avoided memories. He sang Clara's songs at bedtime. He showed Eliza Clara's journals, her favorite books. They made Sunday pancakes with Clara's recipe. The hole in their hearts remained, but it no longer bled. Eliza grew up with courage, warmth, and grace. And Daniel, for the first time in years, allowed himself to live, not just survive. Years later, at her graduation, Eliza stood on stage to deliver the valedictorian speech. She held the old, worn letter in her hands. And she began. Some goodbyes never come with explanations. But when the truth arrives, it doesn't break you. It builds you. My mom taught me that. And my dad showed me how to live again. The crowd rose in applause. Daniel stood in the back, tears in his eyes. Eliza caught his gaze and smiled. She had found peace. And in telling the truth, so had he. Sometimes, silence feels like love. But the truth, no matter how painful, can heal in ways silence never can. If you've been carrying a secret, one that weighs on your soul, maybe today is the day to share it. You never know whose life it might heal. Red Heart.